Hello and welcome to the latest edition of You Heard It Here. My name is Matthew Grover, and this is episode 16. This episode I'm going to call Something for Nothing, and it's about Jordan Nothing Gilbert. Yesterday, after Cloud9 failed to qualify for the DreamHack event, he sent out a tweet, and I'll quote what the tweet says. It says, "Can't help but take blame for that game. Started the series in control and for various reasons lost it. Definitely need some assistance as in-game leader." Now, it's obvious that he was just taking credit for their team's failure. And it makes me appreciate him even more as a player and a leader, without question. Now, that's not to say that I didn't appreciate him before. I've been watching him play since way back in 1.6. But currently, I would list him as one of very few North American players that get it. And when I say get it, what am I talking about? I'm going to try and explain it, and it's going to appear as if I'm kind of going off topic, but I'll loop it back around. I promise it'll make sense. If you look at some of the events as of late within the pro scene here in North America, it's obvious that there's a lot of people that don't get it. Okay, it's North America. Counter-Strike is currently becoming a huge investing ground for sponsors and corporations, et cetera, et cetera. It's growing. It's going in the direction that we want it to go in. So let's start this topic with something I've been kind of wanting to rant about here for a few days, and that's the enemy organization. Let's go back in time about a month, when the enemy organization's Counter-Strike team had just won the North American minor, in what some circles would have called an upset. Not me, I picked them, but some people would have called that an upset. The success and attention that the team had or was having at the time, that's an organization's dream. Some other teams had already tried to poach Kusta. They had approached Kusta and tried to get him to come over. But he was standing firm as a member of that team, the team that was playing for enemy. I guess the most notable team was TSM. So that tells me not only is he a beast of a player, but he's intelligent as well, because I still haven't been able to wrap my brain around what TSM put together over there. Either way, it was a huge opportunity for the organization to capitalize and acquire sponsors, partnerships, endorsements, etc., and we saw nothing materialize from it, nothing at all. And I was trying to understand why that wasn't happening, so I went out and got on Twitter and started following some of the higher-ups of the organization. And there's this guy, his name is Clerky, and he's listed as a co-founder, co-owner, I don't know, don't really know. But after about 48 hours of following his Twitter feed, it became crystal clear as to why they weren't signing any deals. In my opinion, it's this guy. I mean, if you just scroll through his Twitter feed, you can see why a corporation would not want to be associated with this guy. And yes, this is the thing. The corporations that are willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars do look at how an organization, its owners, its players, its coaches, how they conduct themselves to the gaming community. Before they make an investment, they're going to take a look and see what's going on. In this case, I just don't think they ever made it past Clerky. Since then, not only have they lost Kusta, but they also lost their whole entire team, which is now playing under the name Selfless, which I'm sure they're going to work out really well. Everything's going to be just fine for that little group of guys. I've been watching them, the way they carry themselves, the way they practice, the way they play, the way they approach things. In the very near future, things are going to be much better off for them than they have been in the past. Having an organization that enjoys success doesn't make you, as a co-founder or owner, a rock star. It doesn't make you cool. What it does is this. It opens doors for you to walk through. And in order for you to build on your success and maintain momentum, you have to be able to walk through those doors as a professional. If not, you'll lose it. And they have. They've lost it all. Now, You provide for your players, and they'll provide for you. And you do so in a selfless way. That's very important, okay? You conduct yourself as a professional, and you will be treated as such. The opportunities that are available to North American organizations right now, they'll be short-lived if the money people keep running into guys like this. If you're an immature, self-absorbed person to deal with, they're not going to throw their money at you. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about another situation that happened here. And it's not going to sound like the same thing, but really it is. And that's the Freakazoid from Cloud9, the situation that happened between him and Simple from Team Liquid. And I'm not going to rehash all that. Everything there, it's ran its course 100%. But my point on the subject is once again, the people pumping money into the scene will do one of two things in a situation like this. They're either going to remove their money and send it elsewhere, or demand that individual is removed, like Freakazoid. They don't want people like that having their money. That's not what they're spending their money on. Now, those of us within the game, those of us that have been around Counter-Strike, we understand trash talk. We understand egos. We get it. But these money people, they don't all get it, and they don't all have to get it. Okay? They're going to look at this as, well, this guy thinks he's more important than the game. This guy thinks he's more important than my money. And maybe he just doesn't fit in with how I want my money represented. Things like this, you've got to be aware of things like this. Now, I get it. I mean, having your fanboys think you're cool by running your mouth, that's something that just has to stop. Get in the server, get better as a player, get better as a team, and keep the money flowing in this direction. It's not only helping you, it's helping people 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road. You're building something. Quit worrying about internet pissing matches and make yourself look more professional. Or you'll end up looking really, really cool playing for a no-name premier team that is of no importance. You'll be a has-been. That's not where you want to be. Now, look, I don't know anything about this guy, the Freakazoid guy. I think he's a very good player. I do. And from everything I've heard, he's a really good guy. He had a bad moment. He made a mistake. But that's how quick it can happen. You can make one mistake like that, and it's over. It's over for you. Maybe it's even over for other people in your organization. This is the kind of thing that can follow you and others as well, just that quick. Something that small, something that insignificant to us as Counter-Strike people can really mean a lot big picture. Hopefully it didn't in this instance. He's proven himself before. I think he'll prove himself again. It was a mistake. But the point is, it's not about him. The point is, that's things we have to avoid. The North American Counter-Strike scene has put itself in a position to progress financially. Things like that can impede or stop it just like that. Let's not let that happen, okay? Now, so this brings me all the way back around to nothing. Jordan, with everything going on around Cloud9 last week, there's no way you can tell me that didn't contribute to, their preparation for yesterday's event. You can't tell me it didn't affect their preparation and the way they played yesterday. And Jordan just steps up and he puts it all right on his own shoulders. Instead of saying something like, hey, it's been a rough week, because it had been. Or we haven't been focused enough, because they hadn't been. Or we're still learning to play with Stewie 2K, because they are. He took it and he owned it. That's huge. I can certainly see why Cloud9 has kept him around. If this is the way he conducts himself and the way he approaches the game, that's awesome. And now let's hope that Cloud9 does for its players and gets him some IGL help. Let's hope they do something for nothing.